Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel for another video today. If you're new here, my name is Brittany, and I have lost over 100 pounds now on branded Mounjaro and compounded tirzepatide, and I love to share that journey here with you guys, as well as research that I learn and new studies that are coming out and all of the things GLP-1 related I love to share here. So if that interests you, please hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment. It really helps my channel out a lot. So today I have a topic to discuss with you that I am actually pretty passionate about, and that passion is growing day by day here lately for me. And so I really want to talk to you guys about this and get some sort of misconceptions out of the way and cleared up, and just go over all of the reasons why exercise and weightlifting and protein level and water intake is so important on your GLP-1 journey. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. This is currently take 4 of me trying to record this. No, I think we're on take 5. I just keep talking about all kind of random things. And so we're going to try to focus in our brain and talk about this the right way. But I do feel like I need to say this. I love this pen. My sister gave me this pen, this little Willy Wanger octopus guy. She's a kindergarten teacher and she brought this home with her, and I am obsessed with it. And I just keep I've been using it to do all my planning lately, and I'm just okay. I said my piece about the pen. I'm going to put it down so I don't play with it. Okay. So GLP-1s, we all know what they are, right? Most of us, we know what they are, but basic rundown is over the past 3 years or so, they have exploded in the world, but really in America, as this awesome new weight loss option, drug, cure-all for so many diseases type thing, right? You can lose a pretty good amount of weight taking them. It helps with your kidney functions. It helps with your liver functions, inflammation, PCOS, stroke, heart attack, sleep apnea. The list goes on and on and on of the positive benefits of GLP-1s. And that's great. That's wonderful. I love it, right? I've been on a GLP-1. I've lost 100 pounds. I love the fact that there are so many benefits to this drug. However, there are some things that we need to be making sure that we do in order to preserve the longevity of our health and of our life and of our energy levels and of our bones and all of the things that we need to be able to function properly in 30, 40 years, especially if you're in this 20s, 30s, 40s age range. We need to do this now. We need to focus on this. And so this is why I really want to talk about this. There's a lot of misconception out there talking about how you don't really need to exercise while you're on a GLP-1. And that could not be further from the truth, and could definitely do some pretty irreversible harm to yourself. And I want to tell you guys why today. So again, so amazing what GLP-1s can do. Every healthcare professional that you are going to talk to, whether they're a nutritionist, a nurse practitioner, a PA, a doctor, all of them are going to tell you that while you're on GLP-1 therapy, you need to be focusing, of course, on your protein intake and your exercise level. And those are the two, protein you always hear. Exercise is another one that most healthcare professionals will tell you that you need to do. And it's so true. And we're starting to really see why it's so true. This is not new, right? Every diet that's ever been around ever has told us that we need to lift weights and do cardio for our heart health and eat a lot of protein and all of the things. This isn't something that's new, but it is something that is really important with GLP-1 weight loss. And there's a couple reasons why. The main reason is because GLP-1s sort of turn off, as we all know, the hunger levels in our body, and our food noise and our cravings, and they slow down digestion, which makes us less hungry. It's a hormone that alters so many different systems within our body, right? One of those systems being our hunger cues and our hunger systems. And so a lot of us are eating a very low amount of calories per day, and it's not necessarily on purpose. It's just the fact that we're not that hungry, right? Our body could literally be starving, and we would just be over here in la la land living our best life because we don't know it. Our body's not telling us because it's turned that off. It's not telling us that it's hungry unless we're really tuned in and listening to it. But for the most of us, our stomach's not growling, we're not having cravings, we're just living life and eating when we feel like we need to eat before we die, right? So with that comes the fact that when your body is not getting nutrients through food that you're eating, through fuel that you're putting into it, it's going to start taking fuel, energy sources to live from other areas of your body. So like, obviously it's going to protect your organs, your heart, your brain, all of your vital living organs. It's going to protect those first. And so it's going to take from other areas to do so. The hopeful way, right, would be that it took from our fat stores. That's not always what happens. It does happen some, but it also very drastically happens from our lean muscle mass. And that is what we do not want to happen and what we want to try and prevent. And I'm going to go into it and tell you exactly why we don't want that to happen and what the repercussions could be of that. But there was a recent study that was published in the National Library of Medicine in February that talked about a study that was done on individuals when they started losing weight and throughout their weight loss journey. And it was measured via DEXA scans how much muscle loss was actually lost within their journeys. And guys, it's pretty bad. There was an amount accounted for 40 to 60% of total weight loss. Now, this was like the average where most of the people landed, right? Now, it is prudent to mention that these scans take into account your heart and your organs and all of the sort of different areas of your body. And so that could definitely play a tool in a little bit of it, but still 40 to 60% means that if you lost 100 pounds, 40 pounds of that was lean muscle mass. That's way too much. And that could have negative side effects on our long-term health. There was like a study within the study of like a lower percentage rate of people who lost a much lower point. And so the study does point that out as well, but they still lost 15% of muscle mass, meaning 100 pounds, 15 pounds of it is going to be muscle mass, lean muscle mass at that, which you need for so many different areas in your body. Now, I do want to say that, to be fair, there were definitely a lot of factors that contribute to the overall number. It can be your genetics, it can be your starting age, it can be your overall health when you started and your disease progression. There are definitely individuals that would fall into a category that would be more likely to lose lean muscle mass. And so that's very important to note as well. The older population, people in their 60s, in their 70s, they're already to a point where their lean muscle mass and their bones are more brittle and all of the things. And so when you're looking at people that are really going to be affected by this, you're actually looking at like the 20 to 30 to 40 age range, because those are the people that, if they are on this medicine for indefinite amount of time, which is what most all studies say that you need to be doing in order to keep the weight off and to be healthy and all of the things, those people in 15, 20, 30 years, if they're not properly fueling their muscle mass and their protein level and exercising the way that they need to be and all of that, they're going to have the repercussions of more brittle bones, much lower basal metabolic rate, because your lean muscle mass actually fuels your metabolic rate. And so if you don't have any lean muscle mass, or you destroy your lean muscle mass, your metabolic rate is going to be lower, which then makes it harder to lose weight in the future, harder to keep a steady weight, the homeostasis weight set point of your body. It makes your body have to work way, way harder to do so if you don't have the proper basic metabolic rate, which comes from, again, your lean muscle mass plays a huge role in that. And then, you know, the more brittle bones, the chance for more fractures in your older life is very important. Whereas the people that are already older aren't necessarily in the point where, okay, yes, maybe if you're like 60 and you're taking it and you at 70 or 75, you don't want to be having all these fractures. So it's important for everybody, but that middle-aged group really has a possibility, because overall they're going to be on medicine a lot longer, really has a possibility to harm themselves in the long run further, right? So what all of that says, younger generations are at a higher risk of really harming themselves to a more detrimental rate if they don't keep up with their lean muscle mass production. How do you do that, right? It's pretty simple. I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but there are things that you can do throughout your journey that will help to decrease the amount of muscle mass loss, things that I did not always do in my journey. I would say that I was good at one of the tips and bad at the other one, and I am trying to be better about it now. And I'm going to give you some tips on how you can pretty easily work this into your everyday life. So the absolute most important thing is you have to eat I've been seeing a lot of misconception on the internet talking about starvation mode and how it's not really a thing and how your body will fuel itself somehow. It will from your muscle mass. Starvation mode and the effect that it can have on your metabolism is absolutely a real thing. That's been a thing for years, right? If you eat such a low rate, that's why people with eating disorders, yes, they do keep burning. They're burning their calories. They're still losing weight. They're not in starvation mode, but they are. They're burning through their muscle mass. They're burning through their organs eventually. Your body starts to eat itself. They are absolutely in starvation mode, and they are absolutely harming themselves if they're not eating. So you have to eat food. I understand that when you're in the beginning of your journey and when you're going up in dosage, it can be hard to do so. So you obviously need to prioritize protein. As everybody says, you got to get enough protein in your diet. You can do so through protein shakes. You can do so many things like, meats and hard-boiled eggs, and there's high protein freaking tortillas nowadays, right? Like there are so many ways you can get protein into your diet. And if I would be telling you to focus on one thing nutrition wise, it would be protein, because that is the most important thing that is going to help to preserve your overall health, your energy levels, your lean muscle mass, all of the things. That's the thing that's going to help the most. So if you're somebody that's like, oh, it's 3 PM, I haven't eaten anything today, go eat a hard-boiled egg. Go drink a protein shake. Like you got to get some protein in your diet. Protein bars. I've really been loving the Bear Bells one since you guys have turned me on to those. A lot of you guys suggested them. The cookies and cream and the chocolate dough ones are bomb. The cheapest place that I've actually found them is on Amazon. I think I have a link to them down below in my store. If not, I'll try to remember to add one. But that's where I find them the cheapest, is on Amazon or GNC. Sometimes you can find them buy 2 get 1, which makes them even cheaper than Amazon, but they're not running that deal right now. But yeah, they're my absolute favorite. If you're somebody that doesn't like protein bars, I would try those, because those actually work really well. And I believe they have like 20 grams of protein per bar for most of the flavors. So yeah, a protein bar, a protein shake, no matter what you're doing, you have to get protein in your diet and you have to eat. You gotta eat, guys. I do not agree with all of the people all over the internet, just like little people here and there. And I'm nothing special, but I'm realistic enough and know enough to say you cannot starve your body. That's not going to benefit you. It may help you lose some weight right now, but it is not going to help you 10, 15, 20 years from now. And what are we doing this for? But to be healthy, right? We are losing weight via GLP1s to be healthy in the long run for our grandchildren, and see our children get married and to be a great grandma one day, and to do all of the things. It's actually funny. I'm thinking about being a grandma, but my son turned 14 last Saturday, and my mom called to tell him happy birthday. And she was like, just so you know, Brittany, in 10 years, you could be a grandma. He'll be 24. And I'm like, in 10 years, I'll only be 46. So he better not. But I mean, it's funny. Like, that's actually where I am apparently in my life now. And I want to be a healthy grandma who can run around the backyard with my kids or my grandkids and go to Disney World with my grandchildren and do all the things. So what are we doing GLP-1 weight loss for if not to be healthy in the long run? And if you do it wrong now, you're going to harm yourself later. It's just the fact. So you got to eat your food. You got to get your protein in. Protein, and water. Water helps everything. Water helps your immunity. That's one that I feel like I have not actually mentioned on, and I talk about water all the time. You got to drink your water. It helps with your immunity. It helps with your just overall function. It helps with your bowel movements. It helps with your energy. If you have a headache, drink some water. Water. Protein and water. Protein and water. Protein and water. Top 2 things. The next thing is that you obviously have to lift some weights. And this is not something that has to be difficult, right? You could do body weight exercises in your freaking living room. You can go to Five Below and get 5 and 8 pound weights for $5 a piece and use those in your living room to do some body weight exercises to get you started. I understand that if you are somebody who is in the beginning of your journey and you are, 200, 300, 400 pounds, that lifting weights and doing that consistently right now is probably difficult. Doing it for any long length of time is probably difficult. For 5 minutes a day, lift some little, dumbbells in your living room. When I used to work in a doctor's office a long time ago. I worked for an allergist or whatever, and he was an old school doctor, but he used to tell people that weren't exercising, like, even if you just get a soup can and sit in your chair and like lift it like that, you're activating that muscle and you're doing something with it, versus if you were just sitting on the chair doing nothing, right? It's kind of the thought process behind my little treadmill that I bought that goes under my couch, because I can walk on the treadmill instead of sitting on the couch watching TV, all of the things. So you don't have to be going to the gym and doing freaking deadlifts and squats and all of the things all the time. You can do some squats at home. You can do some push-ups. That's actually what I've been doing. I'm trying to go to the gym 2 to 3 days a week and lift weights now, but I'm also throughout the day several times just stopping what I'm doing and doing 20 squats and 20 push-ups. I've done that twice today already. I did it before bed last night. Just activating those muscles on a regular basis is going to help your lean muscle mass get activated and be working and helping your basic metabolic rate and helping your overall systems of your body. So it doesn't have to be hard. It really does not. It just needs to happen, right? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to run a marathon, but you got to activate your muscles. That's what I feel like my point that I want to get across is, we do not want to be 70, 75 years old with broken bones all the time because we have been on Ozempic or Mounjaro or Zepbound or whatever for so long that our bodies essentially have just wasted away. And you see that a lot with people who have lost a large amount of weight in a short amount of time, where they just have like no shape to them and you hear the Ozempic face, the Ozempic butt, whatever. And people use that to make fun of something. But in reality, it's scary that we're losing weight at such, like, there's gotta be a middle ground. And that's also why I talk about not increasing your dosage too much if you're not ready to yet, not going up. If you're still losing weight on a lower dosage, staying where you are. As time goes on, we learn more and more about the fact that, 2.5 and 5 and 7.5 milligrams can be therapeutic for a lot of people. And so you don't need to go up to 15 milligrams where you're never going to eat anything. You're going to starve yourself to death, So going up when you need to go up is a good way to prevent this sort of really fast detrimental weight loss. One thing that my doctor always tells me is that he's proud of how slow, it took me 2 years and 3 months to lose 100 pounds. And I know people I've read about people on different groups and some of you guys who have lost over 100 pounds within like 7 or 8 months. And I think that if we're doing that, if you're losing at such a high rate, that we got to make sure that we are properly fueling our body for longevity of health in 20 and 30 and 40 years, because some of us are in our 20s, right? Like, I'm in my 30s, so 40 years from now I'll be 70, mid 70s, and I hope I am not so weak, and I hope I can do the things I need to do now to prevent that. So I've just been hearing so much about, you don't need to exercise, you can just lose weight, and you can, take a walk every now and then and whatever. And while that is true in the moment, that is so true right now, yes, you can do that. You can take the shot and lose some weight. Is it going to benefit you 20, 30 years from now? That's what I want you guys to try and remember. This is not like an easy fix thing where we have to put no effort into it if you want the best results, right? It could be. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say you can't lose weight doing nothing. You could lose weight probably just taking the shot and not even changing a thing about your life. You just could. I know people who have. However, that's not going to benefit you in 20, 30 years. And so that's what I really want you to remember. And what I really want to motivate you to do is do some push-ups in your living room. Do some squats, do some girl push-ups in your living room. Guys, it doesn't even matter. Activate your muscles every single day in some way, and make sure you're getting enough protein in. So that's the topic for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below on this, what you guys are seeing. I am seeing some stuff in real life that is just scary. There's a woman in my neighborhood who has lost like 120 plus pounds, and she is just wilting away. And I'm seeing that more and more as this goes on, as this sort of craze where people were just able to, get it from, I love telehealth companies, but all people are just getting it any way they can, and it's not being monitored in the way that it needs to be monitored, in my personal opinion. And so we're seeing these people who are just like really harming themselves health-wise, and it's scary. So I want to know your thoughts down below on that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys tomorrow with another one. So don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and stick around, hang out, all the things. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye.